That's the girls there. Cheers to the girls. Fanny Lumsden, Amber Lawrence and Catherine Britt, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, what a guess. Yeah,
what a guess, yeah, righto.
Had that written down. We're going to be talking to Chris Williams right now. He's got a brand new single out. And I've got to say, Chris, I reckon you might be the first country artist that we've listed here, or who's listed, that their influence was Smashing Pumpkins and Soundgarden.
Yeah, definitely some influences. I grew up listening to a lot of that stuff, but as I got older, my influences kind of changed a little bit, and especially lately I'm really into Keith Urban, Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty's another one that I really love.
We were at the Star Maker final this year, and one of the things that one of the finalists, Brooke Chevelle, wrote, he said, at one stage, he said, I realised that my father's music became my music. And it's that. So, whether it's rebelling or whatever, everyone's got their own music taste. But the one thing that does is it broadens your horizon, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say Fleetwood Mac were a big influence on my parents. Love that group.
And I think with the country music banner today, it's so broad that really all those things that you're saying there, you turn into a country song, or it's more of a style than actually the song itself. So you're sort of covering the whole area there with your music. But for the people who don't know who Chris Williams is, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Oh, look, I started playing guitar when I was about 12. Grew up listening to all sorts of music, obviously. I've been playing live sort of around Melbourne and the western suburbs of Melbourne for probably the past 5 or 6 years with a bandmate, Brad Carter, and it was sort of through that I learned a lot about songwriting and what makes a good song, and obviously my influences and things changed from there. And it was recently I started delving into songwriting and wrote my first song, Shining on You, which is my debut single, which I've put out.
And so for the next couple of years, have we got some plans of recording more or putting an album out or a full EP?
Got an EP due out early April, Shining on You, which has just been released. And another single called Speed of Light is due out on April 24, I think, with Country Radio Singles 198. Got one more song which I'm just finishing sort of vocals on at the moment to finish off the EP. And as I said, due out in April.
So if our listeners like what they hear tonight and they want to find out more about Chris Williams, what's the best way they can get connected?
Best way is on my Facebook page, Chris Williams Music. Easiest way to find it is, I think, it's facebook.com/ChrisWillMusic1. That sort of takes you to there, and I put all the gig dates and everything on there and all the updates as to how things are travelling.
Well, mate, we wish you all the best with your music, and we're happy to play it and see how we go from there. Let's hope that you get a couple of extra likes along the way and play some music.
Well, before we play it, we just want to get a little bit of backstory on The Shining. Obviously, it's your first one that you've written, but tell us a little bit why you wrote it and what it's about.
It was a bit of an organic process writing the music. I sort of came up with the chord progression and sort of got the song up and running, and I sort of drove around in my car with the song for about 3 weeks and wrote the lyrics as they came to me. The song's really just about embracing life, being yourself, I guess not being afraid of things, and just not being afraid to live life. Inspiration was my young daughter at the time. I just thought, the very first song I write, I want it to be something sort of positive, upbeat, and have a good message to it that people can turn up in the car and be catchy enough and positive enough that people want to hear it again and again. Just the words came from sort of trying to write to that narrative.
Just a quick question before we get going is you just mentioned there you actually started with the tune first. So you got the melody going. Does that happen with all your songs, or you're a bit of a mix? You might start with some lyrics first and then find a melody, or? Yeah,
mostly it's through the writing of the music first. I find that being sort of a guitarist by nature, I'll come up with a riff or a chord progression or something from there, and then just write the lyrics sort of later to fit in with the melody. So it's definitely the music and the melody which comes first,
there you go. Well, we have Chris Williams, the music man. Well, we might listen to your music right now. Thanks for joining us, Chris. And of course, don't forget, folks, we will have this podcast tomorrow. So if you want to have another listen or find out a little bit more about Chris, make sure you hop onto his Facebook page. Here is Chris Williams and Shining on You. Don't hide yourself.